Alright, so what's in the box? Got 2 rear bearing kits, 2 brake drums, set of brake shoes for both sides, springs, and the adjusters. Two wheel bearing kits. I'm a little nervous, they show the wire wheels on here. I hope that's not a problem. I guess we'll find out. Classic gold brake shoes. Two sets of shoes. Ooh, nice shiny brake drum. Much nicer looking than the ones that came off. Remember those. Two of those. And these are the springs that go across the top of the drums. These are the 2 bottom side brake drum springs for each, one on each side. The picture on the Moss website actually shows this spring, so I was a little concerned that maybe it wasn't going to be these springs, but now that they're here, I'm glad. So, and then 2 adjuster repair kits. These are nice. My adjusters are really rusted. And this actually came with new tappets. I actually just need the adjuster. The tappets I have are fine, but you know what? We'll install the new tappets too. That's cool. I got one for each side of those two. I do want to take a quick look at this wheel bearing kit. Again, this wire wheel picture on the front makes me a little bit nervous. I guess I won't really know until I try to install one. And how you're supposed to know, unless you just know. All kinds of fun stuff in here. Packet of grease. The shim washer. The Viton plastic seal with the open side. I almost threw that away. It's a paper gasket that goes around the half shaft hub interface. I think it's really just a piece of paperboard at the end of the day. Someone did black RTV on my half shaft, so nice soft O-ring. The O-ring that is on our half shaft at the moment is hard and smaller than this one, thinner in diameter. And then you've got the hub itself. So, and then we've got a pin for, where's that pin go? I can't remember. Anyway, you got a pin. Have to use it for something. Alright, so we're going to install one of these wheel cylinders because we're running the hard line, and we want the hard line to connect to the wheel cylinder so that we know exactly where it's supposed to be. Just pop this open. It will be super easy with my gloves on. There we go. Wheel cylinder, and this is the E-clip that everyone in the world complains about. see how that goes. This E-clip has a little bit of a bend to it. So really the question is, which side does the bend go? You know, so this is going to stick through the drum, and the E-clip's going to go on the bottom here. But does it go this way and clip on? Or does it go this way? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up, I guess. Overall, this has been a pretty drawn-out job. Getting into the drums, brakes, realizing everything had to be redone, ordering new parts. But, you know, it had to be done. And I'm happy that everything's new. You know, it is the brake system, so everything really does need to be as good as possible. I think the biggest pain was the E-clips, which everyone said they'd be a pain, and you know, they were. They weren't such a pain to get on as much as just sort of positioning. And then I found that installing the wheel cylinder without the hard line on it, and then taking the bleeder valve off, that really made it a little bit easier to get the E-clip on. And then, you know, once that was on, everything else kind of went into place. I also found it easier to attach the hard line to the wheel cylinder and then bend the hard line around everything to get back to the junction on the differential. So, you know, rather than starting from the junction and trying to bend toward the wheel cylinder, I don't know, just for whatever reason, it worked out a little better. Alright, so got a new wheel cylinder installed, and an axle, and I believe this is a speedy sleeve on here. We're going to worry about the axle and the hub and things after we get the brakes installed. So we're going to focus on installing the brakes at the moment and see how it goes. I'm going to try to get this adjuster out, which I'm sure is going to be amazingly fun. So let's do that now. Got it. Out. These tappets have angles on them, and the angles correspond to the adjuster, and as the adjuster comes up, it pushes the tappets apart, and the tappets push the brakes. So these go like this. Go. Okay, so we have this all put back together now. We've basically got the two brake shoes opposed, so there's one, you know, one slot on the top on the left and the bottom on the right. We have the parking brake lever, which we can engage, and you can see it actually pushes the shoe forward onto the drum. We have the adjusters with the tappet installed, and so once we get the drum on, after we get the hub on, we'll actually adjust we'll spin the drum, and then we'll tune the adjuster and put it this way. Everything looks like it's how it's supposed to be, so this one's slightly less complicated than the Jeep Wrangler drums that I replaced a few years ago. Pretty happy with how this turned out. Okay, let's start with the adjuster. Be careful not to ruin the threads. Just barely grabbing it. get a little stub on the back. Every little turn we get, it gets easier to grab. I'm sure there's a more efficient way to do this. Good. Alright, driver's side done. Again, rotation. Get these spots here facing the rotation. We've got our adjuster with our tappets. Our lower spring return, and we've got our upper spring. We've got the little ear of the spring over the over the handbrake lever, and the handbrake lever, and we pull it, operates. So once we get this dialed in with the adjusters, then hitting the parking brake should cinch up the wheel very nicely. We can test that once we've got the drum on. Before we can get the drum on, we've got to put the hub on.
That's next.